Should you still buy the Redmi Smart Band Pro? So in today's video, I'll be going over my experience with the Redmi Smart Band Pro and if it is still worth your money. Let's get started. Let's first take a look at the spec of this smart band. So the first thing you'll notice is the gorgeous 1.47 inch AMOLED display, and it is rated for water resistant. There are also support for over 100 plus fitness mode, and supported features like blood oxygen saturation, sleep tracking, heart rate monitoring, stress level breathing exercise, and etc. The Redmi Smart Band Pro is constructed of plastic material, which is like all other fitness tracker, and it gets the job done. And I like the matte black color because it doesn't show fingerprints and scratches as easily. The strap itself feels great with the TPU material that is soft, and it is by far the most comfortable strap I have ever worn on my wrist. But with the design of the locking mechanism, which is a button type of lock, so the end of the strap will stick out and it can easily come loose if the flap gets hooked on. Moving on to the 2.5D curved display, which looks great and have excellent outdoor visibility. The punchy color really pops, and depending on which watch face you have selected, it can look even better. While the battery life is estimated to be 14 days, I was only able to get between 1 to 1.5 weeks of battery life. And this is enabling features like SpO2, heart rate tracking, lift to wake, stress tracking, and notification. The battery life will vary depending on what you're doing, so there are weeks where I had more notifications, so the Smart Band Pro only lasted about 7-day max, and charging the Smart Band Pro was quite slow. It takes about an hour to 2 hours for a full charge using the included magnetic cable. After downloading the MiFitness app, it is quite slow with syncing and connecting. But I do like how the health and fitness data can be exported to my Apple Health app so I can view everything on one app. Watch faces and weather information can only be downloaded from within the MiFitness app, and features like setting your alarm clock can only be performed from within the app and not on the Smart Band. So that means the Smart Band Pro is quite dependent on the MiFitness app. There are a good number of exercise options, and with over 100 plus workout mode, I found it can get too overwhelming and cumbersome to select an exercise, such as comparing exercise like weight training to a more specific training like dumbbell, barbell, weightlifting, physical training, and ab. So I usually just end up selecting weight training or freestyle for my exercise. The auto detect feature for workout isn't perfect. It can only detect running and walking, and it has mistakenly detect walking up a hill as running, but normal walking isn't always detectable, so it is usually just better to manually select the workout. Step count, sleep tracking, heart rate monitoring, and SpO2 works as well as I expected to, but I don't have a medical device to compare it to, so I just use the number for reference. Stress level monitoring is a feature I did not expect to use that often, but I found it did a good job of bringing awareness to times that I do feel more stressed, such as during a meeting at work. And finally, deep breathing exercise wasn't as useful of a feature. I did not notice it helping me to relax, but it will vary from person to person. Other feature I use on the Redmi Smart Band Pro include notification, which was really useful for just glancing at my message without needing to take out my phone, and it's especially useful for rejecting those spam calls. Music control is quite useful, and the alarm clock on this smart band has a glitch. There are times when I set the alarm to wake me up at 7 AM, it will ring at either 7:10 or 7:40 AM, so I do not recommend using it for your alarm clock. The lift to wake sensitivity is not the best at the default setting, and it doesn't always detect me lifting my arm, so I end up tapping on the screen just to wake it up. But you could correct the issue by changing the settings to sensitive, but I did not like how sensitive it was, so I just left it at the default settings. Cover to sleep or do not disturb could use some improvement. It easily turns on the screen while I am sleeping, and it can get quite distracting. The Redmi Smart Band Pro is a really good affordable fitness tracker for anyone who wants fitness tracking with some smart feature like notification, music control, weather, but it has its limitations such as dependence on a phone, syncing is quite slow, the alarm clock is glitchy at times, and battery life isn't as long as claimed, and on top of that, the charging time is quite slow, and there's limited watch face available. So, what do you think of the Redmi Smart Band Pro? Do you like it, or are there other better options out there? Let me know in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one.